Hey folks, back on the Reloading Bench again tonight. A little different show. This is going to kind of feature a little more of the other aspect of the show, a little bourbon. I'm not actually reloading tonight. I'm just sorting some brass and spent a long day on the range with my kids and had a great time and kind of gave me some time to think. And the coronavirus just causing a mass hysteria, no food in the many stores, and causing a lot of confusion. I hope everybody that watches the show and all your families are safe and you're taking common sense precautions against the kinds of things that I'm afraid are going to be far worse than the virus itself. And that is, we're going to break down into our most common elements, those things that our base ourselves. And I hope those people that are watching this show are better than that they're smarter than that, and that you're out there making sure that not only your family, but maybe that old person down the street, they're taken care of, because there might not be somebody around the corner, or their family may not be around to take care of them. It used to be that our families in our communities, we all looked out for each other, and maybe that's part of what's wrong right now is that we don't have that quite so much. So while I'm sitting around having some of this good Four Roses, and it is pretty good, but I will admit I'm kind of taking a little bit of a rabbit trail because I'm savoring this a little bit. And this is not what I was expecting when I bought this bottle. This is the first bottle of their straight I bought. I've had a good bit of the small batch, but I thought, well, hell, I'll save $25 or $30 and buy it. Can't be that bad. This might be a mixing liquor right here because this is a little harsh. It's not bad, but it's probably not something I drink a lot of straight out of the bottle. But as this thing gets worse, and by this thing, I mean the hysteria. I don't mean the virus. There are obviously certain elements of our society that are more susceptible to it than others. If you're an aged member, if you've got some poor health, for whatever reason, obviously it's those people that are most vulnerable. And I hope you're taking good precautions. You're out there looking out for your family. And I don't want to belabor the point, but one of my friends, when I was putting this idea of putting a show together, he asked me, he's a pretty smart guy, he said, well, Ross, what do you want to do with this? Is it just for entertainment value, or do you think you really got something to offer the reloading world? And of course, I think we all know that, at least at this point in my reloading experience, I don't have a ton to offer except to kind of let somebody watch me make my mistakes as I go through and show you that it can be done. So my answer to him was no. What I'm hoping to do is kind of build a community where people like me, blue collar guys that work every day, have worked every day, where they have a voice still in America. Certainly I'm not the most eloquent person you'll ever deal with, but what I'm hoping is that this will offer that opportunity for you to maybe sit down in front of the TV on a Sunday night, and maybe you have a glass of bourbon and say, you know what, maybe this country hadn't gone to hell. There are some people out there that still hold the core values of this nation, the things that our grandfathers, marched off to World War II. Our grandfathers marched off to Korea to defend. And whatever you believe about the politics of the day, those men left home for one reason, and that was to fight for freedom. And I hope that bit by bit we haven't given it up, because to get it back will be very, very difficult. And so every day I hope we're all out there ready to defend the Constitution, to take care of each other as a community, to go in, to Mrs. Smith's down the street and just ask her, does she have heat? Does she have something to eat? Because that's what built this country, and that's what will keep us great. I do need to ask a little bit of forgiveness In my last episode, I mentioned that there were 57 signers of the Declaration. And there was a part of me that just felt, man, that might not be right. So I had to go back and read a book. And turns out I was, my inner voice was right, but my mouth was wrong. So turns out there were only 56 signers of the Declaration. So I always try to be as accurate as I possibly can, especially about history, because I'm a big history buff. Long way from being a historian, but I certainly am a history buff. So I hope everybody forgive me for having 57 signers when in fact there were only 56. I don't want this to become an Obama or a Joe Biden type show where I just start throwing out numbers willy-nilly. So there are no AR-14s, and there are not 57 states. And it turns out there were only 56 signers of the Declaration. So I just want to make that correction, and I want to wish everybody a prosperous week, and I hope that you will take care. Wash your hands. Seems to be the biggest thing that we all can do, and just take care of one another. And if this doesn't turn into the zombie apocalypse, the end all apocalypse, I'll see you on the next one.